Good morning. Voice went really high then. Good morning. How are we? That was better, wasn't it? Take two. Good morning. Good morning. Maybe I got so excited with what I have to share with you today. So, all about sleep today. I had a few questions on this, and also I'm going to share a podcast I did with Kathleen Reinhardt, who is a researcher at Oxford Brookes, and we talked about sleep. She actually researches primates out there in the wild who mirror a similar sleeping pattern. What we can learn from that is how we've evolved with our sleep, how they compensate, how we should compensate, how perhaps society has impacted our natural circadian rhythm, and what impact this could have in terms of us today and our health. So I'm going to first by tackling why bother with sleep. Now, number one, often people ask, will a lack of sleep impact my weight? Or I often get asked, I'm used to my lack of sleep. So we can get used to a lack of sleep. Whether this is okay for our health is very debatable. When you sleep less, people often say, how do you feel? You feel more tired, right? You feel tired, you tend to have less energy. When you're more tired and you have less energy, you tend to have less motivation to do the things that perhaps you know you need to do, whether that is exercise, whether that's make better choices with your food. Perhaps you're now looking for a dopamine, serotonin hit that maybe you'd normally get from having enough sleep to get you through the day. So now we're perceiving foods to be more rewarding than they actually were. So that's how sleep can potentially impact your weight, okay? Indirectly, because then we're essentially eating more and probably doing less exercise because we're tired and not motivated. Directly, it can impact your weight, but not necessarily your fat loss. Impact your weight because if your stress hormones are higher, you may retain more water. So when you step on the scales and go, I'm doing everything right, I'm not seeing the results, it can be really frustrating. But you may just be retaining more water because of that. So consider that, yes, sleep is really important because it will impact your decision making. Our prefrontal cortex in our brain, which allows us to make more intelligent decisions long term, is essentially switched off when we lack sleep. And this enables us to look long term, why we even want to achieve those results. And this develops about 5 to 7 years old. So I describe this like talking to a toddler. Toddlers 5 and below roughly don't have the ability to really look long term, like Labradors, in fact. If I said to my dog, right, here's your dinner, I'm heading out for a bit, just make it last till later, her head will be in the bag and it'll be gone. In fact, one time, everyone's done this surely, we left a bag on the side, walked out the room, she ate the whole bag of kibble. Luckily, it was like a small-ish bag. Anyway, came back, and I came back later, didn't realise she'd done it. I gave her more food, and she ate that as well. Crazy. So, my point here is, if I say to my kids, right, we'll go to the park tomorrow, but they've asked to go now, their ability, they just don't get it. And that's how our brain goes with regards to foods, to exercise. If we say, our exercise tomorrow, we feel better. If I say, no, if someone gives you a piece of cake and you're tired, you're stressed, your ability, your willpower to say no is a lot less if you slept less. Anyway, enough of that. Here's 10 things to help you with your sleep. So, number one is to focus on your breathing before bed. And this is a really simple thing, and even if you're ever struggling to get to sleep, because this is restful anyway, and you could tie this in with meditation, okay? So even if it's just for 1 minute, 4 breaths in, six out. So 1, 2, 3, 4 in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out. Even try an app to help you if you want to, and don't see this as, I'm still not falling asleep while I'm doing it, because that is not the point. It's the point that meditation and breathing can actually put your body into a more restful state. I mentioned cortisol, stress hormones, that can be reduced. It can actually change your physiology, similar to how exercise can, but in a different way. Before bed, number 2, try a warm drink, whether that's chamomile tea, peppermint tea, make sure it's decaffeinated. Hot milk can actually be quite a good one as well. Number 3, very common one, and perhaps contradictory to the last one, is don't drink too much before bed. Wine included. Wine included. I know does sound contradictory, like I said, to the last one, but if you're getting up in the middle of the night for a wee, that's going to disturb your sleep. And if you struggle to get back to sleep, that could be an issue. Magnesium citrate can help a weak bladder, but that is one thing you can do to help with that. Number 4, this might surprise you, carbs in the evening. I know what you're thinking, carbs make you fat in the evening after 6 p.m. The bogeyman comes out and fat storage gets higher. That's not true. And in fact, it's your overall calories that count for that. And if you sleep better, you get all the benefits I've just talked about at the start. Okay, so you might make better informed decisions the day after, you have more energy, you move more, you make better decisions with your food. I could go on. This could be because of the serotonin release from carbs and just feeling full and satisfied. Now, if you're going to bed hungry, that's an issue. At the same time, though, binge eating in the evening, which is my next point, is again going to be an issue. So if you're eating really late and you're eating quite a lot, your blood sugar levels go up and then they come crashing down, and that can again be quite stressful for your body. And then I want to ask you to ask the question of, what am I looking to get from eating before bed if I'm not hungry? Because often we can get that same feeling, create that same feeling from doing something like having a bath, reading a book, meditation, ringing a friend, planning our day tomorrow, because sometimes we're just stressed and we're trying to just forget about it. But actually, if we get it down on paper and out of our head, we actually feel a lot better. I'll be honest, I've got up many times in the night and just my phone's on no notifications anyway. So I've just gone into notes and just had to write something down because it's in my head and I'm going, I won't forget that. I won't forget it tomorrow. If I go to sleep now, I won't forget it. But then actually I'm just thinking about not forgetting it. So I need to write it down. Anyway, next one. Avoid TV, phones, email too close to bed. Can't say I'm perfect at this one at all, as you can probably tell by the amount of time I spend on my phone. However, I am very good at putting my phone off notifications. I don't have any notifications on my phone at times, especially in the evening. I just turn notifications off and then I'm almost like, done. Now, a lot of screens now actually have like a blue light blocker, and I'll go into this in the podcast on Thursday, which will be available then, and that's with Kathleen Reinhardt, who's doing her research, like I said, into primates and their sleep. And light we covered quite a lot, because obviously that's something we definitely have in common with primates. So next one is being regular with the times you go to bed and the times you get up. That's something I'm very consistent at, and I do believe that helps. My body just switches off in the evening. 10 o'clock, I'm done. If I try and work then, it's just pointless. But in the morning, I have my most productive time around now, from anywhere from 5 till about 7 a.m. is like, done, go. Next one is to do some exercise. Sounds obvious, and there's no perfect time for this. Some people love it in the evening and it makes them sleep better. Other people, they get really buzzing in the evening, so it's kind of a personal thing. But it's no lie that exercise is going to help you sleep at night. In fact, one of the ladies have already said, who's recently started her Kickstart, how better she's sleeping. And when she went away the other week and she went walking a lot more while she's away, she noticed she was sleeping better as well. And especially with lockdown at the moment, maybe if it's raining, even just get out in the rain. Like, I can guarantee you'll feel better for it. And let's face it, we always feel better. We always feel better when we do things that we kind of don't want to do. It's just the way it is. It feels nice to put it off. It feels nice to go, actually, I don't want to do that. That makes me feel better. But there's no way it's a better feeling of just doing it. Next one is eating foods high in tryptophan and vitamin B. So we know that fish, really high in vitamin B, that can help people sleep, potentially. These are a bit, these are above the others in terms of the others are way more important, more environmental, more things you can do. These could have an impact. So eating foods high in tryptophan as well. So eggs, meat, fish, legumes, bananas, serotonin-rich producing foods, which can help with melatonin. Again, that's linked to carbohydrates. That could help. And by default, by eating them foods, legumes, beans, high in fiber, fish, high in protein, eggs, super nutritious, you're not going to be too bad either. So nothing to lose by eating them. Last but not least, and this is again something we'll go over on Thursday in a bit more detail, keep the bedroom dark and cool. I actually have an eye mask, which is upstairs, conveniently, next to the bed. An eye mask, which allows me just to quickly nap in the day, and also, I just got a really good one as well. Not, I used to just use the one that I'd buy at an airport sometime. But it does, for me, make a huge difference, especially as we have the door open so we can hear the kids, or I should say, my wife can hear the kids, because I'm flat out. There's a bit of light coming in, so I block that out, and we even though we have blackout blinds, which is another important thing. So make sure you keep your room cool as well, and a good thing to do with that is to help lower your body temperature, is to actually have a bath before bed, or even a shower before bed, because when you warm your body up in the shower, your body will naturally cool you down, and we like to be at a certain temperature to go to sleep. I will touch on that as well. There is some research to suggest that going to bed, even night owls potentially, and again, this is dependent on you, but there is some research in terms of circadian rhythm and light that if you go to bed after 11 o'clock, you probably will not get as good a sleep as before. That old tale about, what's that saying? Every hour is worth double before midnight, something like that. Maybe they're onto something. Anyway, hope that helps. Any questions, let me know, and speak soon. I am off for a morning 1-to-1. We have live bar from home today, and also beginners yoga. So I hope that helped. Let me know if you try any. Let me know if any you do already. Let me know if you struggle with sleep and what you've tried already. And try being in the name, because sometimes we try so hard, and actually that's the issue in itself. And sometimes you need to just get up and clean the oven, because then you associate getting up in the middle of the night with cleaning the oven. Unless you enjoy cleaning the oven, don't do it then. Do something you hate if you get up in the middle of the night. Could be cleaning out your car, in the cold. Right, so if you get up in the middle of the night, next time you have to clean the car in the middle of the night. Defrost it, then clean it. Enjoy. Take care and speak soon.